a lot of content creators absolutely hate this game, and I genuinely don't understand why. Especially if you're a right winger. I mean, this is low key one of the best right wing propagandas that I ever seen in a game, ever. I mean, imagine this, right? You have the recent protests that happened in Britain against Keir Starmer, against the left wing government. And all you have to do is to show some pictures of the cops beating up the protesters while this song plays in the background.
We're the aliens. We're the refugees. We walk among you. We're right behind you. Your time is past. Your kind won't last. We're the dust fortress. This bug is airborne. We're the newborn. Our kind is newborn. We're the dust born. This bug is airborne. We're the newborn. Our kind is newborn. We're the dust born.
So, all in all, I do not believe that even Nigel Farage himself would be able to hire anyone that is capable enough of creating such amazing propaganda. Like, all you need now is a video editor that can find some news articles with a couple of, the good old London tradition of cutlery. And then you have the police beating up the people protesting, and you have this song in the background. And yeah, like it's probably one of the best right-wing propagandas that you can come up with. So how did it come up to this? So how did this evil right-wing extremist Nazi video game get funded? Well, I made a video about this a couple of days ago, and my sources told me at the time conflicting information. Some sources told me that is the Norwegian government that paid for it, while other sources told me that is the European Union. And it turns out that both sources were correct. This game was funded both by the European Union and the Norwegian government. And as you can see, the Norwegian government forwarded around $1.4 million in government grants. And they also got 150,000 euros from the Creative EU grant program. Now, I gotta say, the fact that they also are accused to steal assets and the way the video game looks, it really doesn't justify $1.4 million. I do not know how they managed to spend this money. I assume that there were a lot of consultants, a lot of people that in the Soviet Union, we would say they were hired to cut leaves for the dogs. Like, this was a Romanian expression, but it symbolizes exactly what they're doing, right? Like, you have a factory and you're hiring a guy to cut leaves for the dogs. It's like he's doing an action that is senseless. Like, he is cutting leaves for someone that doesn't like leaves, right? And it's literally what they're doing. Like, they're making a video game for absolutely no one, and they probably hired a lot of consultants in order to justify where the $1.4 million went. The public hates it. So, this is how the government spends the taxpayer money. Like, note this, since we're going to talk a little bit about politics. The government always talks about how they're not taxing the rich enough, how, the taxing isn't equitable, or how certain people are doing tax evasion. Like they're always talking about how to get more money. It's like, if only we can get more money, life can improve for everyone. But look what they do once they actually get the money. That is something they never talk about, how they waste the money. And how they're incapable. Like, the government is just incapable of doing the stuff that it's promising people that it's going to do. Because there's no accountability. That's the reason. So in this situation, they want to promote Norwegian culture, right? Which is kind of like a good investment, because you're promoting the culture and then you're getting tourism. That's the idea, right? Like, Japan, for instance, gets a lot of tourism from Europe because of anime. Like, a lot of people see Japanese anime, they see the Japanese way of life through the anime, they see the ramen and stuff, and they're like, oh, well, I wish I could visit. I wish I could go to Japan. France used to have the same with Disneyland. Like people from all around the world would see Mickey Mouse and they would see Goofy and they'll be like, wow, that's so amazing. I want to go to France. So the idea of promoting your culture isn't necessarily a bad thing, but when you're spending millions of dollars of taxpayer money in order to promote shovelware and to give money to absolute grifters who are going to take advantage of you, and there's no accountability, there's no quality control, there's no like proof of concept or anything like that, well, you end up with a video game that absolutely nobody wants to play. And this is the reason why you have so many shovelware games. It's because even if people don't want to play it, in which case this is exactly what's happening, like left-leaning people don't want to play it either. Antifa isn't playing this video game. So the people who make it, they don't care. They really do not care because they already got paid. They already got their money. And I wouldn't be surprised if they didn't manage to access some ESG funds as well from investors, or if they managed to get some tax write-offs. This is the grift, right? Like, these are not people that are passionate about video games. These are not people that are interested in creating memorable characters and immersive storylines. This is why they were really angry when you call them fake geeks. Because that's what they are. They are just using gaming as a vehicle to enrich themselves. They're the modern versions of U-Ball. U-Ball was just as arrogant and he was making just as many trash-tier movies as the current shovelware industry. So, obviously they're going to make more games. And the problem, as you can see, is with the Norwegian film industry, which is pushing for this type of thing. Right? So basically they're saying, yeah, we're going to give you money, but we want you to have sustainability. Now, sustainability is corporate jargon for woke. Like, your game needs to be woke, right? So it's a checklist. That's how they think art is created. Like, when Michelangelo was working on his art, he also had the checklist, right? And the checklist is basically like, you need to have at least one person of color, you need to have at least one person that's middle-aged, you need to make sure that all female characters aren't attractive to the heteronormative gaze. You need to make sure that you're adding some disabilities. You need to make sure that you're adding some social justice talking points. It's basically spreading propaganda. Like, they're not spreading Norwegian culture. They're not trying to show, like the beauty of Norway or anything like that. It's like, no, they want to show the beauty of globalist left-leaning governments and their talking points. And the problem is that the market is telling no. Like, if it was good propaganda, I would understand. The only thing that this reminds me of is when the United States tried to make a video game to promote the US military, and it also failed dramatically. It's because you cannot take art and just, like, force the message. Even though, like, it was a military shooter and, it was trying to promote the US military, it was so cringe because the government made it, and you could see that it's not natural. Like, it wasn't a person that came up with an idea, with a story, with a concept. I mean, even there's that Japanese video game with the strongman president. I forgot his name, but like, that is actually really good propaganda for the American military. That what America itself did in order to try to push the message in a video game. And this is literally the same, but from the other spectrum. It's promoting like left-leaning ideology. And the people that promoted with that song, I generally don't know if they didn't try to take the piss or they were serious about it. Like, if you're trying to make refugees sympathetic, but you have like this creepy song, it's like, we're walking amongst you, we're right behind you, where your time has passed, your days won't last. It's like, if you're doing that message, that is a right-wing propaganda music. That is not going to change the mind of a person that plays this video game and say, hey, you know what? Like, I was wrong. Refugees are actually awesome. I need to vote more left-leaning. I need to start supporting the Democrats. I need to donate to Act Blue. I mean, this video game just opened my mind and my wallet. Right? It's not going to happen if you put songs like this. This is the opposite. It's like, holy shit. What is Nigel Farage doing? How do I support him? Let me know what you guys think. And as usual, I will see you in the comment section. Take care.